Thanks,
Hello,
Vicky.
hello, hello, everyone. Hello, Zoe.
Uh,
Oh, everybody, type in where you are in the chat. So excited to be here. It's been a while since I've seen my peeps and seen Zoe.
hello, hello.
Of course, Zoe. Oh, I love it. So excited to be back. Uh,
Ah, here we are. People are popping in.
we've got a giveaway. We're doing a new thing. We would like volunteers, and we'll do this later after we show you lots of great work. Hello, Norway, Berkeley, Brighton. We would love a few students who have taken the course before to pop up and tell everybody what they love about it and answer, it's like for the people who are considering it to hear about it, not just from us, but from actual students. So put that in your thinking cap. We would love to pop up some people. Okay,
Oh, I
we've
love it.
got
Look, we've got someone from Venezuela. We've got Australia, Toronto. That's great.
so fabulous.
Yeah, hello,
Dave from
everyone.
Cambridge, Mass, which is about 10 minutes from me.
That's great.
Okay. Um, do we have a poll, Becky? We don't have to, but it says poll on here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for Becky in the background, it'd be great to know just like who here has,
Oh,
yes,
she
ever
did.
taken the course. Amazing.
You, Becky.
It's
And
like she read our minds.
she did. And did I say already we're doing a giveaway? Giving away a free course at the end with our little guessing game.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. Okay. Um, this is the 12th time we're teaching it, so
Oh
we know
my
what we're
goodness.
doing by now.
I know it's not 12 years because I think there was 1 year where we ran it twice.
That's right.
I think it's 10
Yeah.
or 11
It's
years.
11 years, but our 12th time.
Mm,
It's
yeah,
confusing.
yes.
Okay. So, um, in case you don't know me, I'm an art agent. I'm a former art agent. I retired from the agency of a year ago after 30 years, 3 decades. So, and we assigned maybe even 1,000 books, like hundreds and hundreds of picture books. So I know stuff. And then Zoe is a fabulous art director who is continuing to assign. She has taken students from class on her gorgeous, to commission for her gorgeous books. She knows a ton. She's been in the biz a while and a couple decades, maybe 2 decades. Zoe?
Uh, oh, I'd say I'm definitely 25 plus years. I think I started in 1998, which makes me feel very old. Anyone who wants to do the maths can. Yeah,
I
so
started, I know things. Yeah.
25 plus years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we know stuff,
yeah,
lots,
it's really
and
nice.
we're here to help. That's really the thing. Zoe, we're going to show some of Zoe's books in a minute too, but I want to, oh, I have a little bio of you. My brilliant and fun co-teacher and art director and author too, Zoe Tucker. She's art director and author of children's books, including Ada Lovelace and The Number Crunching Machine, Greta and the Giants, with over 20 years experience. She's worked on quite literally hundreds of books, from baby books right up to young adult. Her main passion is for picture books and narrative storytelling. She's worked on award-winning books with some of the most talented illustrators working today. And most importantly, she's my brilliant co-teacher who I've learned things from. So you get two perspectives, the agent perspective and a former illustrator, and the art director. So I know what we would pitch and get picked up, and she would know what she's looking for and what to commission. So you kind of get it from all angles. Okay, we have show and tell in a minute, but I wrote this last night. Okay, want to read?
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
What did Dave say?
I'm legit really smart and
She is
nice.
and British,
Thanks.
so she wins the accent award.
Oh, that's funny.
11 years. How? So I entitled this, "How Can We Help?" 11 years ago, Zoe and I, Zoe, art director, and me, agent, really wanted to help artists who wanted to write to get book deals, commissions, to illustrate picture books. How could we share our expertise in a way that helps artists achieve their dreams? We wanted to make a course that would deeply, profoundly set artists up to create the kind of work they need in their portfolio to pitch to children's book art directors. So we made this course, and we're delighted to say we're in our 11th year of teaching this course, Illustrating Children's Books, which we call ICB. Art directors want to see great main characters, generally children around age 5, or even animals or objects that appear childlike. They want to see that you can do a range of facial expressions, all kinds of motions and poses, and a gorgeous setting. We will teach you all of that. We'll dig deep into exploring your main character with personality. You'll have fun accessorizing them with clothing, hair, and so forth. We will teach you about drawing all kinds of facial expressions in a range of emotions. Art directors want to see that the main character moves so that the main character can act out the text. Art directors want to see how you put the character in a setting. But by the time we get to that in week 4, you know your character inside and out and can make them move and make them come alive in their face. You've begun to imagine a scene for them, and it all comes together. Fear not, you do not have to draw realistically. I don't, I didn't, I have a wonky style, and I was booked solid for a decade with my illustration. So you don't have to. You can do a wonky style with lots of personality, an anime style, a cartoony style, a very gentle watercolor style, or any style. Any style is fine. We are 100% about encouraging every different style, encouraging artists to make work true to their taste level, their way of working, and their deep intrinsic art making style. The weekly Zooms. This is where it all comes to life. Each week, we gather some of the very best work submitted for each week's assignment to illuminate what makes a great piece so that all students can learn from them. Plus, it's very incentivizing for all of our students to work very hard in hopes that they get in the review. That said, obviously, everyone does not get a review. That would be tedious for all. But we do gather 5 student assignments randomly, random pieces, random picks, so that everyone has a chance. This is to incentivize you to do the assignments. It's every teacher's dream to see so many of our students year after year go on to sign book deals, and in many cases, multiple book deals. We're proud that our course helps so many artists achieve success. That said, it's the artists that put a lot into the course, set aside time, and give it their all who achieve the most success. You need to work the course. Many students take this course over and over, 2, 3, 4, 5 times over. On a personal note, I've taught all my life. Sometimes I wonder why I care about students so much. Why do I work so hard to help students and create these courses? It's because I know that burning ache inside of just really, really wanting to be a successful artist more than anything in the world. That's what I had, and I achieved my dream in my late 20s through my early 40s as an illustrator with loads and loads of commissions before I became an agent. So Zoe and I would be delighted and honored to help you achieve success on your journey. We make it as fun and as exciting and as packed full of concrete and useful information as possible. I hope you'll join us.
Oh, so nice. I love that. Thank you so much. We've
This,
had so
I'm,
many nice hellos and comments as you were talking, Lilla. Dave
oh,
said, I think it's important to think about what's said in a review, even when it's not work, because the advice will still apply. And I think that's true. I think in the reviews we cover an awful lot of content about the work, but we also just really enjoy shooting the breeze and talking about the business and things that come up. And yeah, obviously it's just it wanders and it's really nice, isn't it? The things that we talk about. So, yeah.
Okay. So, um, now I go back to this, to my notes. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
while you're doing that, I'll just say quickly, everybody, there is a Q&A panel. So if you have any questions for us, there is a Q&A panel and you can put your questions, formal questions to us in there. And there's also the poll, obviously, if that's still popping up for everyone.
oh, where is that poll? Zoe, here it is. Do you want to do a little show and tell?
Yeah, I think what I've brought with me to show kind of applies to when we talk about the text. So that might be the best time for me to do it, if that's all right with you and it doesn't interrupt your flow.
I'm sorry, say it again. I was looking at the poll.
What I brought with me to show you today
Mhm.
kind of helps a little bit with the text, so it might be
Oh, I
worth
love
doing
that. Will you
here
explain
again.
the text and for people who don't know?
Yes, so if you haven't had a look, I was thinking about that word text. The stories, basically. If you haven't signed up, you won't have seen them. When you sign up, you have the choice of three original stories. Two of them are written by me, and one of them is written by our wonderful Jenny, who is an author and also works with us behind the scenes. I don't know if Jenny's online, but maybe she can say hello if she is. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Becky. Oh, yeah. So British
It's
Jenny's
Jenny.
here, and she's written a fantastic story. So let's start with hers. Oh, I'm not. Am I allowed to reveal much about them if people haven't signed up?
I think so.
Oh, good. Okay.
Tantalizing.
It is tantalizing. Okay, so when you with the stories, um, what we try to do with them is to cater to different types of illustration, different flavors, different abilities is a
Style.
horrible word, but just where you are in your journey. So there is always something available. If you're right at the beginning of your journey, there is something that's a little bit easier, and if you're someone who is really accomplished at where you are, there's things that are more challenging. So that's the first thing. We have three texts. I've said that a billion times. One is a human character, one is an animal character, and one is a thing. So by a thing, I mean it could be a pen, it could be a plant, it could be a toy, it could be something that's a little more static, not quite as animated as a living animal or person.
And why
Uh,
do we pick that?
Say again?
And we pick that because it's easy to draw a thing,
Yes.
medium to draw an animal, and more challenging to draw a kid. So
Yeah.
that's why we do it.
Yeah. So where should we begin, Lila, with the text? We've, I don't know how much to reveal. The thing, we are on the sea, and you have a choice of a boat and a rubber ducky, or a few rubber duckies, so that's quite fun.
No, because it's still not going to be as much as the whole beautiful texts. So
Good.
feel
Okay.
free, feel free,
You
right?
just tell me to shut
Don't you
up.
agree she should just, spill the beans a little?
Okay, so that's okay. So your main character is a boat, but it's also some rubber duckies as well. And I want to tell you why I wrote that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the inspiration of it. I think it was in the late 80s. There was a container ship that basically it didn't sink, but it just lost some of the containers over
Truth
the
story.
overside. It's a true story, and I've put the links in so you can read up about it. Quite a few different authors and illustrators have been inspired by this, but I loved the story so much because the in one of the containers was rubber duckies and bath toys, and they went all around the world, quite literally. And whilst it was an environmental disaster, it also informed science about the currents of the ocean because they got to see all the different places that the duckies went to. And yes, Hannah Chews. So basically, I said I'm going to do a story about this, and then quite shortly afterwards, you're right, Eric Carle did do a version of this story. There are quite a few versions, and I'm hoping mine is different enough. You can all be the test when you read it. So, if you are tempted to do that, what I would love to say about it is from an art director's perspective, transport is like a perennial favorite for picture books. You always, I mean, think about when you were a kid, if you've had children yourself, they're obsessed with trains, diggers, cars, boats. bicycles, anything like that. So exactly, cars and trucks and things that go. And actually, Lisa, the copy of that is just up here on the shelf behind me. It's it's such a great thing to put into your portfolio if you can. The reason I chose a boat is it's slightly more environmental, which I think is it's better than doing cars and trucks right now. Also,
Okay.
with a boat, you get to put your personality into it. So you can have any type of boat you want, from a massive ocean liner to a sailboat to a dinghy to a canoe to a raft, whatever you want it to be. And you've got to find your way of putting some personality into it. So that's the first one.
Love
The
it.
second one, sorry.
Love it. And that's a thing. And it's fairly
Right.
easy to draw and it's charming. And yes, and you get to
Yeah.
draw water and all the different ways of an ocean and seas. And it can be just a pretty blue shape, or you can get into waves and cliffs.
Yeah.
Lots of visuals.
Yeah, exactly. And also, so we do travel a little bit in the book. So if you're into doing scenery, that's a really great way to explore that.
Mhm.
And don't forget, there's a rubber ducky or two or three or four. There's your clue. So you get to do rubber duckies. The second story is an animal story, and that is called Nellie and the Bee, and it's about an elephant and a bee. And Katie Stack has just put, I'm fascinated to hear your inspiration behind the text. Katie, I'm often like looking for little facts, and I listen to lots of radio shows that come up with different things. And in fact, it was a radio show called Crowd Science, which was about how elephants are being used as a natural, let me get this the right way around. Bees are being used as a natural deterrent for elephants that are eating crops in Africa. So
Say
they're
that
being
again.
bees and
Yes.
hives are being used as a natural deterrent for elephants that are roaming and eating crops. So this was where it started. And so I, from that little radio segment, I'll just do a tiny bit of research and then write a story around it. So your biggest challenge with Nellie and the bee is going to be scale, because I've given you a massive animal and a small animal. And before you tell me that it can't be done, I've brought this example to show you that it can be done. And here's my little fly and my tiger. So the thing with this one will be obviously drawing your characters so that they're appealing, but also thinking about the scale and the fun that you can have in your page layout. Maybe
Wow.
you don't show your whole animal, maybe you do. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more.
How do you fit it all? Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that one also gives you the opportunity for beautiful scenery, and your character needs to have appeal, even if it's a tiny little bee.
Mm.
So
Did
that's
you
that
do
one.
those books, Zoe? Did you do
I
it?
did this one. This one is a recent one, actually. This came out last year.
Love it.
Yeah, our artist here is Nicola Kinnear, and she does really animated characters. So in the class, we would be talking about how to get this range of emotion into your characters, how to make them cute and happy, but also how to give them a little bit of a sense of peril, sense of drama. So,
Mhm.
because Lila, one of the things I'm sure you're the same as an agent, but when you see a great artist and they've got good characters in their portfolio, often the characters are just standing and smiling. And there's so much more to picture book illustration. You have to be able to bring in a little bit of drama and peril as well, that's right for that age group. So even here, you've got the tiger looking a little bit evil, I think. And then the fly has these really big eyes, which makes it look quite sweet, really. Which
Mhm.
I love the fact that the fly looks a bit goofy. Can you see that?
Oh, it's precious.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Precious.
So we will be talking about that. And then your third text, which is by the amazing British Jenny, as she is known on here. That's not her full name, British Jenny. She's defected and she lives in Sweden now, so I think we should call her Swedish Jenny.
Never. No. I told her when
Is
she moved. She's still and always British Jenny.
I can't tell you, this is such a gift because writing three stories is hard.
Mhm.
I have a particular way of writing, and inviting someone else in to write with us is brilliant because it brings a different voice to the type of stories that you get to work from. So it gives a bit more variation. So now, British Jenny's text is superb. It's called The Not So Perfect Match. And it is a sort of play on a fairy tale. It's a prince looking for his princess. And my guide for you today, actually bought three examples to show you. So what I particularly love about Jenny, apart from the wit that comes through in her text,
Mhm.
is that she's given us some really contemporary themes, almost quite grown up themes. So I've given you a few ideas of how you can navigate that. But my most important thing is be contemporary. It's very tempting to want to do a very sort of traditional fairy tale, but it's not really what's getting commissioned
Mhm.
at the moment. What you could do is something that plays on it. So I brought you a couple of examples. This one is called A Damsel Not in Distress, and the illustrator is Bethan Stevens. And I bought this one because she is, she's kind of a cool and contemporary princess who does her yoga and
Mhm.
hangs out in inflatables. So it's
Mhm.
not too frilly, it's not too twee. She's got a little bit of personality.
Mhm.
Also brought this one along. They're not strictly princesses, but I like the fact that it is a bit fairy tale-ish, but these characters are really magical and really different. They've
Mhm.
got a sort of um it's like a gamer's vibe for me in this
Right,
one. I'd
right,
love to know
right.
what you think in the chat. But yeah, so you can be a little bit quirky with it.
Mhm.
They're just really sweet characters.
And the main thing with British Jenny's story is that the girl, the princess, has so much sass and personality. Maybe she's wearing black lace-up combat boots,
Totally.
okay? uh, Against type, you know. So instead of a princess with a crown and a flowing dress, how can she be against type? Maybe she's like somebody who goes to art school, looks like an art student, you know.
Well, Lilla,
And what
that's
does the prince look like? Is he typical prince? He's different as well. So it's a really modern, great story. You will love it.
I didn't even prime you for this, but I also bought with me the third thing to show is I bought along one of these
She
books.
rides
These
it.
are um, David Roberts is the illustrator, the author is Andrea Beattie, and it's Aaron Slater illustrator. But honestly, any of any of David's books, but also any in this series particularly. So David studied as either a milliner or as a fashion
Wait, I want
student,
that
but
too.
it shows in the way he dresses his characters.
Mhm.
They are fun and funky,
Well,
and
look,
that's
man, look
exactly
at the
what you
clothes
can
of the
do.
man on that page.
Say again?
Look at the clothes of the man. Look at that vest. Wow.
So you can have fun. And Jenny, I didn't even discuss this with you, but that's what I'm steering everyone towards. Jenny's going to be like, oh, no, no, I wanted a traditional.
And,
Can you see those?
love his kids so much. Look at the
Exactly.
proportions of the kids too. Big head, narrow shoulders. That's the trick. Big
It's
head,
really
narrow
great.
shoulders.
And he is also a really great artist to look at for representation. And
Mhm.
by that, I mean diversity, um, ethnicity, ability. He does it in a way that is just so beautiful and
Mhm.
accessible. So, for example, let's have a look. See if I can get this little boy here with his birthmark on his face.
Mhm.
It's just done so beautifully and so simply. So yeah, David Roberts is a great one to look at.
Oh, incredible. Those
Those are
books
my
are
examples.
huge successes. I think there's a movie. I think
Oh, I think there's a
one of them.
TV, there's definitely a
Oh,
TV show
TV show.
from those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a great series. If you don't know it, it's a really fun one to look at. It's one of those I wish I'd worked on. The other two I showed you I've worked on, but sadly not
Know
that one.
that feeling. I know. As an
Yeah.
actor, like, oh, wish we got that gig. I
It's
know.
so important though, isn't it? I still like go to the shops and look in the bookshops, which you need to make a regular practice of that because I do to see what's contemporary and what is in the shops now, not 5 years ago. And but it's so good because you walk in and you always see something that you're like, damn, I wish I'd done it. And
It's
it's good because it keeps you vital.
exactly, exactly. Use it, use that envy as a motivator in a fun way. Don't let it put you down. That's the key to success. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? Um, I have, let's go to the PowerPoint and then if we have time, I can ask you questions, but I think we covered a lot. You see, we write out a whole script of what I'm supposed to say, but then we riff and then that it makes the script moot. But because we are just going with the flow, so let me pop up our beautiful PowerPoint. It's going to blow you away with work from previous classes. Don't forget, today is the very first day. Please don't hesitate if you're considering signing up. I see that the majority of people here are already signed up. Oh, or about half. And that's very exciting, very exciting. So be sure to do it because you want to start at the beginning. We pace it out very methodically for you to get your text today. Land Your Dream Children's Book Gig. This is a book my agency did with Osa Galand, who's done many, many books. I'm showing you some of the gorgeous books that my agency has agented. And I don't know a better way to say that my agency agented. So if anybody knows a better way, so I'm trying to figure out how to phrase that, but I think that's the way. Okay. Oh, why are we not? Oh, here. Oh, oh, it just jumped all around. Sorry about that, folks. Here's some more. Please remember this. Art directors need your art. They need your art to sell their books and products. And not only are you going to get picture books, but you will get other things from this kind of art, um, like socks, toothbrush, cards, adult books, candles, all kinds of things. What a fun career you can have. Really, it's the best. You're your own boss of your career. Today's Zoom, gorgeous work from last year's students, a few maths prep images, how to illustrate a text, Zoe's brand new text, a text chooser. Well, we did the text, but we'll do the text chooser. A few of our favorite picture books on why, what art director Zoe looks for in art, workshopping an actual piece of one of the texts. I've taken one of the texts, a bit of it, and we're going to take a minute. You can either work it out in your head or with a piece of paper and pencil or your iPad and scribble out some ideas. That's going to be really fun and get you started and help you with the texts. Q&A, pop up former students if they care to share. So we would love to hear from you. And of course, the giveaway. We're going to go through these quickly because we have a lot. These are some of the gorgeous work from previous classes, and you'll see the range of styles, expertise, and the subject matter, the moods. That's what I want you to see, okay? So here we go.
So quiet.
Okay. Wasn't that is that mind-blowing?
Yeah. I felt like we were in some kind of deep meditation as well.
We're all absorbing the beauty, says British Jenny.
It's
Erica's at oh, she's not at the dentist.
because one time she said on the chat while we were in the middle of a review, she said, "Right, I've got to go to the dentist now." So every time I see her on the chat, I'm like, "Oh, are you in the dentist? How's it going?" Yeah.
I hope that inspired you. Now, if I were starting out as an illustrator, I'd be inspired and scared and intimidated, but hopeful. And the good attitude is they started at the beginning and they got this good. I can do that too because I'm willing to put in the work. Okay. So now these students got agents from their classwork. Adam Ming, who's done a whole bunch and has a great Substack with Katie Stack, also a former Matt's student. Faye Ford, who I took on for representation. Yeah. Oh, did I miss something?
No.
A few, wait, I thought we had more student, well, maybe not. Wait,
There is lots more students who have representation, definitely.
I know,
Hand on heart, I can tell you that because
like
I've commissioned them.
there's like 50 that I can
Mm.
think of that have gone on.
Yeah, Jen says I got an agent from work with
Yeah,
work from this class, which
that's
is what's so great about it. So what you will end up with at the end of the 5 weeks is five new pieces for your portfolio at the very least. I think you'll probably come out with more. And
mhm,
then the option, you obviously have access to the stories. So you can go back and you can do those other two stories. So you in the end will come out with at least 15 pieces of work,
mhm,
which when we're looking at a portfolio, from my point of view, Lilla, I need to see several different types of characters. I can't just see one character from one story and think, yes, excellent. They've got a book deal. I want to see a breadth of work, and within that work, there needs to be continuity. So, what I mean by that is if we were to look up David Roberts' portfolio, what we would see is a lot of characters in the style of David Roberts. And we can usually, I mean, I could pick out David Roberts' work without the name on it because he has such a distinctive style. So that's really what we're looking for, helping you find your style, build your portfolio so that when someone like me or Lilla looks at it, we know what we're getting and it's an easy thing to assign.
so true, so true. So these were from the Matt's Prep. Fabulous
Yay!
work, people. Very
Oh my goodness.
nice. This
Can I
one,
just tell you, every evening when I was looking,
yes.
my husband came and sat down next to me and he'd be like, "Oh my God, I love this one. I love this one. I love this one." And we
Mhm.
really enjoyed the fact that often I was labeled as little Zoe. And here's a fun fact for you that when I'm really moody, he'll say to me, "Has little Zoe come out?" So he
Oh,
sees this as my child like me. There was so much brilliant, beautiful work, and it really gave me so much enjoyment to see it. Beautiful.
for those that don't know, the Matt's Prep is Matt's Make Art That Sells Prep preparation for class. We do it before most classes to kind of, help you prepare, especially if you're excited to dive in, or you want to give it a try, or you just want to do the prep. It's free. And this time it was a picture of Zoe as a child holding this dinosaur. It was very precious. And these are the various interpretations of it. So this image by Elizabeth Brand, both Becky and I chose this to put in the PowerPoint review today because that grandma, like crazy, so much personality, so much personality. And Kathy, this is such a charming piece. Okay, these students got picture book deals. Well, tons have gotten tons, tons, tons. And these are just a few of the students of ours that have gotten these deals. I mean, it goes on and on. You get the newsletters that British Jenny writes that puts these in there. Books commissioned by Zoe. from Make Art That Sells students that
Yeah.
she's found in class. That's
Yeah.
a long list too. Yeah,
Oh, so nice.
yeah,
I love
beautiful.
these books.
Repped both of these people.
Yes.
Mhm. Beautiful.
And you know, with quite a lot of them, Lila, I've ended up working 2, 3 times over. So with Tisha, I've done 6 books.
Oh.
Isabel, I've done 2. Brian, I've done 1, but I think he's contracted for the second. Yeah, and Brigida, I think I'm on my second or third with her. It's just so brilliant when you find a great artist and then you build that connection. Really
And
love.
it's great when you find a great art director like Zoe. That's what you live for as an illustrator who's assigning great work.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Okay. So you signed up for class and you get the 3 texts, and they're short to read. They're very short. Don't worry if you're not a big reader. It's just like short little texts. But then you have to choose one. Don't forget, you can do the other 2 after class at your leisure. And how do you choose? Well, we thought it would be fun to make this very unscientific, maybe works or doesn't work, text chooser to
Mhm.
help you. And that comes in class. You'll get that in class. So Karen Sandstrom, I just love this course. It's an intense, encouraging, inspiring class that propels the artist to the next step in his or her development as a children's book artist. You can take a moment to fill this out in your head. I, say your name, want to illustrate children's books because I like to draw blank things. You could, everything, and illustrate stories about blank and make scenes. Oh, I think this was for the writing course, wasn't it? Becky, whatever. It's still cute. Okay. So, do you want to read these?
Of course. Okay, so is this course for you? Yes, it is. Do you ever wish you had a picture book illustration career getting paid for illustrating picture books? Are you obsessed with picture books or illustrating or making pictures? Do you wonder if you're any good at kid book illustrating? Or do you feel that your cool, imaginative brain is your super secret power? Do you want to know what you need in your portfolio to get kid book work? We do a lot of that. Do you know that one of the hottest illustration markets is the picture book writing and illustration?
Okay, here's the deal, the bundle. So if you're going to sign up for the kid book course, I'm also offering one of my favorite courses, lettering, bootcamp lettering, September 8. And you can get the 2 together and you save 20%. The Matt's team put this together. It's kind of a brilliant idea because you can do lettering for your book cover. For just it's another tool to impress the art director. Look, you can do lettering. I make it so easy, trust me. I use lots of vintage. I scour literally Europe and the US for when I travel. I go to vintage shops. I just was in a crazy old used bookstore last weekend, for example, getting things for my courses, for my lettering, unusual stuff that you can then riff off. Yeah, Megan, don't lettering. Good, you got boot camp. Good. You're gonna love it. People say, "Oh, I was so intimidated by lettering." I'm not talking about typography. I'm talking about hand lettering. You're drawing the letters. I love letters. Lettering is my favorite thing in the world, and I do it every single day. And because, and I'll use a fountain pen or I'll draw. Did you see my espresso and decaf little signs I made for coffee? Anyway, so that's that. So now, oh, we're going to workshop a piece of text and then we're going to pop up an alumna or 2, alumni, a giveaway and Q&As. Okay, let's go. We're going to workshop a piece of text. This is the not so get out a piece of paper and pencil or your iPad and Procreate or whatever it is you like, or just get your mind, open your mind up, unlock. This is the Not So Perfect Match by Jenny Stevenson, aka British Jenny. I just wanted to be married, wailed the prince, but he just couldn't seem to find the right princess. Tall princesses, short princesses, quiet princesses, loud princesses. He'd met them all, but none seemed quite right. He tried everything. He'd thrown lavish parties. That could be really fun. Thrown lavish parties. He was a fantastic dancer. He kissed several frogs, but all he got was pimples. He found a shoe and made everyone try it on. The castle door. Her cheeks were pink, her dress and cloak were dripping wet, and she was holding the reins of a huge white horse. Hello, she said cheerfully. I'm Princess Matilda. Could I stay the night? A princess. The prince was thrilled. But Princess Matilda didn't look much like a princess. Princesses wore dainty slippers. Matilda wore big black boots. Princesses had sleek, shiny hair. Matilda's hair looked as though she had fought in a battle with the storm and lost. How could he be sure she was a real princess? Then he came up with a plan. You have to read the rest in the course. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take about 3 minutes. What you can, how about you draw and wait for the surprise twist of this story? You will love this. Anyway, we're just going to focus on draw. Why don't you draw the big black boots? Are they chunky with chunky heels? Are they shiny or scuffed? Are they laced? Do they have patches on them? So take a minute to draw the boots. Take a minute. And what else is she wearing besides big black boots? What other accessories can tell the story of how she's an atypical princess? You can either draw the whole thing without reference, it's a little hard to. I like to get a photograph of a woman to draw from and then change it a bit. But so if you don't do that, you could just draw the accessories perhaps. Like, is she wearing a cool flowy dress and a jeans jacket or crop top? Is she wearing all kinds of jewelry? What's her hair like? You know, take a minute to draw. I can tell you're drawing because no one's putting anything in the chat. That's good. You can put in the chat too. It's a children's book, remember that. Your style can be for little kids or middle grade kids. Which are you leaning toward? It's really just about how cute and young the main characters are. And are they little? Are they 5-year-olds or maybe like 8 or 10-year-olds, 12-year-old, maybe? Zoe advises in her notes to the text, which you will get in the classroom, the reader also needs to feel that the princess and prince are poorly matched from the start. How could you do this in a subtle way? Giving the reader the inside knowledge, letting them come to understand why the princess perhaps isn't quite right for him, will empower the reader and help them understand the overall concept of the book. You could add clues to the environment and to the way the characters are dressed. Avoid cliches. Opposites attract? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. How was that? Type in the chat how that was. Did that kind of get you started a little bit? And that's one of the things with my teaching method is I like to break things down into tiny bits and ease you in. I'm seeing a lot of the word fun, and that makes me very happy. I, as a creative person, like many of us, get very overwhelmed if I feel like the project is too big. So I break it down into little bits, smaller, and this is what I taught my kids too, break it down into smaller bits. If it's still intimidating, break that into an even smaller bit. And that's how I teach the course. I'm very much into learning modalities, brain styles, ADHD, all kinds of brain types, the creative brain, baby steps. And that's what we do to ensure that you have the greatest likelihood of success in my course. I This is not a course where we throw everything at you and say, good luck, see you in 6 weeks. We we set you up for success. Very important that my courses are workable, doable, and we get a lot of good work out of the courses. Yes. Okay. So, Zoe,
Yes.
well, I have a few things to pop up, and then we could um pop up an alumni.
Yeah, great.
Okay. So I found this, forgive me, I showed it to um my year of art school people. You saw some of this. So this is a piece. Zoe, did you ever see this?
Oh no, I didn't.
I did this for an editorial illustration about 30 years ago. And it says up here, there's no problem. She's a blindfold. Look at her facial expression. She says, it's my fault. And here's a hand going to the imported
Wow.
French brandy. So it's about children of alcoholics.
My gosh, that is amazing. And immediately when I see it, I think it's obviously it's the expression on her face, that tiny little mouth, because you're not able to connect with the eyes, but it's also
Right.
the color palette you've used, and there's
Mhm.
like a heaviness to it.
My favorite part is this.
Mm,
The paint quality. And one of the things I love, well, I did a lot of editorial work, lots and lots of magazine work, literally hundreds of commissions. And I love telling a story through the objects
mm,
and so forth. But I also was very much about paint. And I want you to, I pulled these out. One of the things I did, so I feel like that piece could be contemporary, right?
mm,
Could
mm,
be 30 years old. It must be 30 years old. Because I looked at fine artists
mm.
to see how to be inspired by paint. Look at the paint, look at the colors, look at the smudge and smush. I mean, this is what I love. You will have your own people you love. Um, Let me just pull up. Where are all the pictures? I mean, especially like the esoteric pieces
Mm.
of Gauguin, the pieces that aren't the cliched ones we know. Look at his paint quality. Look at this.
That's beautiful.
Is that inspiring you?
Yeah, I love that.
Um, this is a book. I love old books. The Spirit of the Letter in Painting, and it's look at the paint quality.
Mm.
So I've become obsessed with my iPad and Procreate and brushes.
I love that juxtaposition as well, that you're holding up people who are working traditionally painting, but you're translating that digitally as well. And when you see, if you haven't seen Lilla's paintings on iPad, she's got so much texture
Mhm.
into it that in some places I think it's really hard to tell whether it's a traditional artwork or a digital artwork. And that's actually something really important in the business right now.
Because knowing how to use paint informs how I make the look of the
Yeah.
Procreate piece. By the way, here's a little news. What do you call it? Like a something I'm thinking of. I don't know the term. I really want to do an art history course.
Oh, I want to do that with you.
Okay, let's write it.
Let's do an art history course. Yeah.
And like show some real, because we're
Yes.
seeing a lot of similar work right now in the culture, in the illustration culture.
Oh my
A lot
God, wouldn't you
of
just
good.
love that? We could just do a deep dive on everything that we like and
I have
just like talk about it, make sense about it. Oh my
I
God.
have and from an artist point of view, not historian, not historian.
No, just from an appreciation
The
and
paint
just
and the
yeah,
line, yeah, and the colors. I have a book of Italian mid-century painting. Look
nice.
at this. Oh, okay, well, I know what I'm
Oh,
doing.
look, Katie says we have to do it. I love it. Let's write a note. Lila, I remember when I was a student, I was all into like contemporary art. I wanted to be cool. And
Yeah,
then the college art school trip that year was 7 cities, 7 days. We did Brussels, Bruges, Antwerp,
okay,
Ghent.
European
Uh,
dagger.
yeah, well, because we're so close, we just hop along.
Oh,
Paris. But it was mostly big brown paintings. Now, 19-year-old Zoe, very different to 5-year-old Zoe, wasn't so sure. And I came back from that week away. I just loved it so much. You can learn so much about composition, about light, about the way like harmonious colors, little pops of a contrast. It's just I'm with you. Yes, please. Let's do it. I'm gonna
I,
call you.
oh my God. Okay, call me. Oh,
Let's make a new one.
here's the thing. What did Karen say? Integrate it with the yeah, it could be. It could be like a Paul Bass or a Ben Shahn, that kind of thing for sure. Um, I wanted my work to be classic. Well, how do you do that? You can't just sit down to, and classic work to me is if line quality is beautiful, design, composition, color, texture, drawing, all the elements. Um, History of illustration. There are history of illustration classes. This is for illustrators to make their work better. Okay, so this was a piece I did for Metropolitan Home. It was 3 full-page illustrations in the magazine, and I want you to see the text went inside here, the text on the page. So,
Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
and how, to have this kind of keep the freedom even though you get an assignment. Look at her.
Mm, yes, yeah.
And to use paint like this.
Mm.
And then I know I've showed this 1,000 times, but my book I did is very faded here, but
I love that. But Eddie, for anyone who's looking at that, what I see is harmonious color that is like all those yellows, oranges, pinks, and reds that sit really close together on the spectrum. And then there's like one or two smaller elements that
mhm,
are a pop of a contrast. So it's almost the diametric, if that's the right word, diametric opposite on the
mhm.
color wheel, and just a small pop of it. So you've got this sort of sea of color with a contrast. Rather than sometimes when we see artwork, we call it a control of color, being able to control your color palette, but you can see someone who's using really beautiful colors, really bright, happy colors, but everything's in equal proportion, and your eye doesn't know where to look. And what Lila's doing so well here is that harmonious color. It moves around the spectrum with just a few little accents of contrast.
If you say so.
I do say so.
Okay. Um, well, conversely, here I've used every color, but weird and odd and deep, muddy ones and vivid and just such an array of colors. What?
Sorry, Erica said, "Ooh, look at us all witnessing the genesis of Matt's art history that isn't for old farts." I think
Oh, wow.
Erica's come up with the title.
That's so great. Well, and the purpose is I want you to whatever. Okay, here.
No, I really love it. And I think the other thing that will come from this when you start to look at,
Mhm,
when you look at, okay, we're looking at things that Lila loves, art history that Lila loves, that she's referenced alongside pieces of her artwork. And what that says to me is, and someone else has very well pointed out, Lila, your top matches it. If we go back through the PowerPoint and we look at the flat lays in the PowerPoint, there's a theme, there's a vibe that is Lilla. If we look at Lilla's home in the background and the colors that she uses in her decorating, the colors of the artwork that she held up, which she maybe did 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago.
I've used it all
And
for 30
there's
years.
Lilla in there. So what that has done is help her find her personal style. One of the things that we do in the class, we talk about, people ask the question every week, how do I find my style? That's how you find your style. And it's by digging a bit deeper into what inspires you and understanding those bits, understanding that color palette or that style, if it's soft and
What
moody.
excites you? Yeah, but the other thing, so line quality is so key.
Yes.
Not, every line should be made with care. So you
Yeah.
have to pause for a minute. If you're rushing, slow down. And this book that Zoe showed us in another class, look at the line quality here.
This is my color palette,
A
people.
little
I love it.
different. I love that. Yeah. But look at the line quality. Okay. It's beautiful because of the line quality. So you can be very contemporary.
Yeah.
Um, and then I have a few more things to show. So Lila, okay, so I'm gonna do all these pieces for the course. And then what? Then how do I get a book deal? We talk about that in week 5. And also I will do a give like a let you know right away that if you don't know this book, it is fantastic. It's all you need. This plus your great art, and you then get the clients and who to send to. It includes agents and all kinds of stuff, and that's one of the ways. So it's not that hard. This puzzle we just got in that I still get products from projects we assigned. So this is by Jenny Miriam, pretty adorable. I know
So
it's blurry, so about that. And then these two, I may have showed these. We got these in recently too, but
oh, those are
Osa,
adorable. Is that Orsa? Orsa Galand?
Osa Galand, and she was a student and then got picked up for rep and has tons of illustration gigs. Okay, so how many times a year in Mats? We only do it once. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes, and today's the first day, so do sign up. And again, you can get that bundle. If you've already signed up for illustrating children's books and you want the bundle, write to Louise. She's hello@makeartthatsells.com. Hello@makeartthatsells.com, and tell her that you'd like to add on the bundle. And I think she figures it out or whatever. Okay, so I think now Becky, do we pop up some people? Is that what we can do? So I'd like to pop up anyone who's taken the course, a couple people. So if you want to go down, slide your cursor over this window and you will see um, where I think what you have to do, click more. No, where's the little hand? Oh, raise hand,
Raise hand.
raise hand. Okay, so um, there are 3 smaller boot camps. Well, there's lettering is in September 8th, but that's it for this year. Okay. Um, I have 2 people. Anybody else? Oh, here we go. Dave, or here we go. Okay. Becky, why don't you pop up the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people?
Woohoo!
Okay, and we'll just have a party.
Woohoo!
We're gonna have 5 people here.
I didn't mean to raise my hand. I just did. I got excited. I pressed the button.
I can't figure out how to. Oh, well, we might do another round of people.
Hey,
Corey,
Corey.
how many times have you taken this class?
You have to unmute,
Think
Corey.
it's my
Hi,
third
Dave.
time. The third time, I
Hey,
think.
Dave, unmute it. Everybody unmute yourself, because we're gonna have
Hello.
a talking convo.
Yay. Hi,
Hey,
Sarah and
Sarah,
Arlene.
Good
Arlene.
morning.
How long have you all taken this course? I know a lot of familiar faces here,
I
names.
think this is my third time.
This is my second time taking this one.
Yeah.
Hang on.
My fifth time.
Yay, Sarah, Arlene.
Yes. My third. Five.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh,
What
that's amazing.
possesses you to keep taking it? what advice do you have for people who are debating whether to sign up for it for the first time or again?
So
Anyone can start.
much information and stuff to learn that each time I dive in and I learn new things. And
That's
this
Yeah.
time is different, even different, because I am actually working on a picture book for an author, a self-publishing project. So I'm really loving it. And
great.
in the final stages. So I'm hoping to pick up some more stuff.
Fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic. Dave, what makes you crazy enough to do this
Uh,
again?
well, I really enjoyed the class I took last year. I took this very same class last year, and I really appreciated, as an art director myself, that's what I actually do for a living, that it was really helping people construct things that are what an art director in this industry is looking for. Now, I mostly do video games for kids. That's like really my sweet spot. So it's not quite the same thing. But like really understanding what an art director is looking for in the language that they're looking at it in the right strategy to make sure that you're showing your work the best way it can be for you
Mhm.
is a great way to make sure that you're appealing to the right set of eyes.
That's so great. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Sarah, how about you? Let's say somebody is debating whether to take it. What would eat the rich?
Someone was asking. I drew this, so
Oh, it's fantastic. That's
So
so great.
cool. Yeah, Leela. For me, it's like it's full of inspiration. I have never. I was completely new when I joined at 2020. Never done any illustration in my life. Started. It was stressful in the beginning, but last year I got 3 book deals. My first book got published. It was a
Wow.
chapter book.
Woohoo!
I mean, I still can't believe it. I'm not a full-time illustrator. I still have my 9 to 5 job. But with this course, I want to take this course as long as it continues. So yeah, it's just uh, other people work, how our Facebook community, how good they are, how they can encourage you. That's the most beautiful part.
Facebook group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that,
How,
Sarah.
how-
So, congratulations. What an
Thank you very
achievement.
much.
that's what
I know it's such
Fantastic.
a like it's I mean even the publishers sent me the pieces that I did on the course and say that, oh, I love this piece. I love the how you created that. We wanted something like this, or like it was so direct. So yeah, I know I still can't believe it. So this I think start of this year I joined my first book launch, and that was like my parents couldn't believe it. What? So I'm a software engineer. Like, what's happening? So
Brilliant.
I
It's
know
so
love
good.
it's so good,
Had
and
you gone
thank
to
you.
art school? No,
No, I had
no art
never
classes,
nothing.
nothing.
No, yeah, yeah,
Love that.
yeah, yeah.
Love that. And
Thank you for this. Yeah,
oh, thank you for your words. What about the Facebook group? Did you
yeah,
find, would other people find helpful, would you say?
yeah. I would say every time, like if I start from 2020, if you look at my pieces, it was like it was scribbles, and still people will tell you what to do better. I mean, it's such a nice way to say
Good
this. You will
point.
not feel you'll feel overwhelmed, but still you'll feel that inspiration to do better or do have fun. So I think I'll still say that's the best part. That's the best part of this course. And you'll see the difference in your work, because
Mhm.
you'll see like how I mean you will not even realize that your work is getting better and better. So I would say, yeah, whoever just even thinking, I would say go for it. It's amazing.
That's so great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was the little ghost
Art.
for me that got my picture book.
Oh,
Mm.
yes.
A story.
Oh, yeah, little ghostling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say something. Kelsey, we don't do constructive criticism. 12 years ago, and before that, I taught at Parsons in New York. I've taught in my studio here for years before that. I never did criticism. I don't do a critique. I don't like the word. I think it's abusive. We have enough abuse in so many, in our culture in so many ways. I do a supportive, Zoe and I do supportive, positive based. We talk about what's working. Sometimes I will say, I want your work to go from A plus to A plus plus. I'm pushing you because I know you can do it. And then I'll say, what about trying this? Or change one thing. That's what I do, but it's not criticism. So I want to really make that clear. I feel strongly about it.
And I'll back that up too. I think that regardless of whether or not your work's selected in the classes, like every review is so valuable, and all the feedback onto every single piece has something that you can take away and apply to your own work. And I just found, like, so this is my third year taking it, but through the 2 previous classes, my work completely changed. I was able to pick up, you know, some of my dream jobs through that, which for me is to do with illustration, but also includes traveling with that. So yeah, all of that's really valuable. So I think even if you're not selected for the review, don't say that, like, just listen to all the advice and apply it to your own work, because it's really, really valuable. And you can download the recordings and re-listen and garner more wisdom from each of those classes too. So
Yeah.
it's a great way to get more out of the course.
I think it's really inspiring. I mean, from a flip side, I joined a writing group this year, and there is an opportunity to share your work. So you do get feedback, but a large proportion of it is listening to other people's feedback and and critiquing their work or not critiquing. Um, but I always come away from every session buzzing because it just gives you ideas. And there'll be things that these writers do that kind of raise my game a little bit, which I love. So I hope that our feedback does the same, and it sounds as though it's doing that for you, Arlene, which is really nice.
Oh, that's fantastic. Any other advice you have?
If you
All right.
only pick one course, do this one.
Yeah.
And I also think the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So the more you're active in the Facebook community, the more you do every sketchbook prep and work on all the pieces, like, you definitely get out what you put in.
Totally true. And you improve. That's the beauty of it. Your talent, you maybe have seen my lettering where I wrote, your talent is not finite. Your talent is infinite. Talent is like a muscle. It grows. You don't just, there's no such thing as, like, I don't know, being born. I think the way you know you're talented is if you love art, you love making art, you love colors, you love art supplies and paint. That's your raw talent. That's like, I don't love math, okay? And I know it's shocking to everyone here. I don't love chemistry, which I never took in high school. I was the only student in my high school who didn't. Instead, I could take art twice, 2 periods a day, 5 days a week. But I always loved art. And I probably would not be a great scientist. News, that's a shocker. But I may have made a living with my art, a fantastic living. If we're talking financially, fantastically. If we're talking with opportunity, fantastic. With my art, my entire life, 50 years professionally. So, because I love it so much. Like right now, here I am 70 years old, and I want to do a new course with Zoe. Because
I'd love to do this. I'm quite excited, actually.
okay. Yeah, it'd be
That's
super.
going to keep me up all night.
Oh, I see, that's passion. Passion is what keeps you going and makes
Having fun, though, don't you think? Having fun, just also not I think Dave, you put in the comments, it's not about getting picked, it's about just improving your work. And I feel like we all just the joy of learning and learning from each other, knowing that you can improve, we can all improve in every single way. I just find that that's what life's about, isn't it? Just continuing to learn.
too young.
Yeah, what else are we gonna do?
It's good
Maybe,
for your health. When I
yeah,
talk to
have
the
fun
old
and keep
timers,
learning.
here, are you too old to start? No. I didn't start maths till I was 59. I didn't start teaching in Europe till I was 68.
What?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Amazing.
Because when you're excited, it fuels you, keeps you young.
Oh, I love
Get to
that.
buy art supplies.
Sarah says she spent many 3 a.m. morning calls with you and me because of the time difference.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, that's
where,
dedication.
Sarah Tabassum, where are you? That Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. But yeah,
Oh
I
my
have
Jeez.
slept.
goodness.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
slept through the
no.
evening, so I am all good. So
Oh, I'm so happy you're here.
Darlene,
Oh,
thank
you're
you.
Australian too, right?
I'm
You
Australian, but I live in Kiribati, so it starts at 6 a.m. here. I get off easy.
Where? Where do you live?
Kiribati,
Where's
sort of
that?
south of Hawaii, middle of the
Hawaii.
Pacific
that
Ocean.
was
Oh,
so
that's
funny.
right.
Yeah.
Weren't you in the arty book pitch course?
Yes, I did 2 years of my year of art school.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Arlene, when
And
you
I just
came on, I was like, are you in Hawaii still? But I thought maybe you're not.
still south of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Still lots of ocean. But
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
and I found like just adding to that, because I live so remotely, we are the only Imatang expat on the island. The community, the Facebook community is just so valuable as well. I just find that community has just been really great for me.
Isn't it fun how
Yeah.
international it is? I mean, Corey,
Yeah.
are you Netherlands?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, we've got England, Netherlands. Dave, you're America?
I live about 2 miles from Lilla. I live in Cambridge,
Oh,
Massachusetts.
oh, I
I'm
can
around the
picture
corner
it
from
then.
Oleana Restaurant, from all of you
That's
who
It's
know
Oh,
just
Cambridge.
so
so
great,
great.
just how international it is. And I think that does give us like a bit more of a rounded view as well when we're looking at different artwork and we're talking and sharing ideas. It does
Right.
give us a different perspective, which
It
is
does, and it makes everything more interesting. I think we should keep these folks on the screen while we answer some of the Q&A because,
yeah.
right, they may have, we have to do this every time, Zoe. We do.
Yeah, I love it.
You
I
gotta
really
get the
like having you
people,
pop in.
voice of the
I
people, yeah,
like popping in.
the
Yeah,
pop-ups.
I really
Okay,
like you've put the dinner on the hold. I love it. And it
Yeah,
is
the kids are hungry, but they have to wait for this.
okay. Let's
so
do some Q&A.
Lisa
Do you want to start?
asks, she just finished doing a very successful self-publishing. Okay, I'll read it. I just finished working with an author, Lisa Furkey writes. I do continuity reading for series writers who very successfully self-publish. What is your advice for self-publishing picture books? Katie Stack, are you in the house? Do you want to pop up? Because she's doing it and she changed my whole mind about it. I didn't think it was viable, but it is. So I don't know if Katie, if you're here, raise your hand. Oh, I can look and see alphabetically HIJ.
Yeah, my take on that is self-publishing is absolutely viable.
Oh,
When you
jeez.
publish traditionally through a publishing company, you obviously get the support and guidance of not just your art director
She's
and the
just been popped
editor,
up.
but you get the marketing, sales, publicity. You get teams of people who have contacts that are far and wide around the world, more than what we have.
And the prestige.
Say again?
And the prestige.
And the prestige, yeah. I
Mhm.
think with picture books, something like this book, this is in at least 10 or 12 different languages around the world, and that would probably be quite hard for Beatrice to do on her own. So there are advantages to working with a traditional publishing company.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, it does come with the prestige. Yes, there's the sense of you have to submit and you will face some rejections. That's part of it, and it's okay. Don't worry, it happens to everybody. But when it happens, then it sort of, I think the journey might be a little bit smoother and a bit sweeter with a traditional publishing company. But that's not to say self-publishing
I-
isn't viable.
I
You're
really,
working with people who have great expertise. That said, it's Katie said sometimes the pay is really great. Sometimes who she's working with is great. And
Yeah, that's great.
great way to develop your work and then continue to submit to the big publishers.
Yeah.
I really like that I get to do a lot of the project and help decide where we're going and what more. And if she has an issue with the text and she doesn't feel she comes to me and asks me what I think. And I really like that. It's shorter
Yeah.
lines.
It gives you a little bit more, we would call that a bit more autonomy
Yeah.
to be like really in the heart of the creative process. And Corey, I think that's brilliant. And it's great if you've got not you, if one has the confidence to steer the project in that way. Um, Sometimes it might be harder if you haven't got that confidence and you're in the middle of
I
it and lots of
surprised
people.
myself.
Yeah, well, no, I think
I
it's
really
brilliant.
like it. Yeah.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. And hopefully some of the maths classes have kind of equipped you with some of those decision-making
Yes.
skills along the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to vet self-publishing people. You want to be sure and send them your terms, how you work, about changes, and be very professional and set the tone.
Yeah.
Mm,
Started with the contracts.
yeah.
Carolyn S., when it comes to the flow of the class, are there meetings or is it self-paced? No, it's not self-paced. It's very structured. Some of these questions were asked way in the beginning of the Zoom, so she didn't hear a lot of that, but it is very structured and very live component. So you have the greatest likelihood of success. Okay, Monica Griswold. Is the demand for middle or high school age books as high as younger children? Zoe, your thoughts?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I think I think our role as artists right now is to lean into it even more because certainly in the UK, I imagine it's mirrored in the US as well. Not sure about Europe, but literacy levels are lower than they have ever been, which means that children who are reading chapter books are not reading chapter books. So, yeah, it's up to us as creatives to fuel that part of the market and to make it more exciting, to make it really energetic and really interesting. So, yes, publishing houses right now, there's a real focus on commissioning for the middle grade area.
Katie Stack wrote back, ICB, that's this course, prepared me so much for working with self-published authors, and it's not always just individual people. I've worked with nonprofits, and right now I'm even doing a book with the American Kennel Club. So you can get really amazing clients with self-publishing. I agree with everything Zoe said about traditional publishing, though. Okay, so that's good to know. So I answered that. Beck favorite. Hi, Beck. Just wondering about color profile for assignments. The briefs say that they should be submitted in RGB. Is that for digital gallery purposes? Can assignments be submitted in CMYK? Zoe?
I would say RGB if you can. If you're working traditionally and you're photographing it, your photograph will probably come through as RGB. And if you're working digitally, you will get brighter, better colors if you're working in RGB. If we were doing this as a book, you would be asked by someone like me to convert all your work to CMYK at the end, though. But for the sake of the course and uploading to the gallery, it's RGB.
And Lisa Furkey says CMYK won't work well in the web gallery. Yeah, and it's a much bigger file, I think.
Yes, it is.
Alana says, hello, Lilla and Zoe. I'm so excited about Jenny's story and have started on the characters. Age-wise, I've drafted them to be around 17 to 18 years old. Does that work for a picture book? Zoe, your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. I wish I had the right examples to show you. So, Alana, I will bring that next for our next Zoom. So it's a complicated one. It depends. You could choose to do your story like this one. I'm sorry I keep showing this. It's what I have to hand. But I wanted to show you the characters at the beginning are little. And the way we can see that is the proportion of the figures. The characters age through the book. I'm just going to show you them at the end here. So here they are again at the beginning. And here they are at the end. So the limbs are longer and the proportion of the head to the body is different. As Lilla would say, we count the number of heads that fit into the body. And I think it's probably maybe I'm squinting at it, roughly 4 to 5, whereas at the beginning, look how little cute and chubby they are. So that's just a brief 101 on the picture book. So picture book characters are normally this age, and it's quite rare that we show characters that are more grown up. The reason I think this is quite a nice example is your princess and your prince could easily be these proportions. They would still look really friendly for the children's book market, even though you might want to make your characters 18 or 19. You need to think about who is going to read the book, who's the receiver of the book, not just how you're going to illustrate the story for the author. So you want to find that sweet spot that keeps the characters young and accessible for a 6-year-old, 5, 6-year-old. This book, Jenny's book, there are some subjects there's part of the subject that ages it up into a different part of the market. However, I have referenced some picture books for you that are dealing with LGBTQ in a really accessible way for this part of the market, and it's really good to go and look at that. And the other thing, I'm not sure if this is helpful, we'll go back to David Roberts briefly, but these are some older children in the book. Again, we can see by the proportions of the figure. And also, just to remind you, let's look at the adults.
Beautiful.
But they're still friendly and accessible for this age. So I hope that helps. Does that answer the question, Nilla?
Yeah, I think that does. I think, think of the product. So with a story like this, is it going to be, clearly it could be a middle grade book, but also, part of me, and I'm going to say something, I don't even know if this is
This is a middle grade book, everyone.
yeah, is maybe you do it in an adult way and then you get adult book covers, which isn't the nature of this particular course, but in a way, maybe in addition to doing it for middle grade, you might want to also do on the side a piece for older and see what kind of work that attracts for magazine work, for novel covers and so on. So just throwing that out there.
I think I referenced Jane the Fox and Me by Isabel Arsenault, and that is a longer and more complicated picture book graphic novel hybrid, but go and check that out as well. And I'll bring some more examples. I will try and bring some more.
Okay. My daughter was married for most of primary school. Okay. Christy says, what's your thoughts on making the prince and other characters in the Not So Perfect Match not human? My gut response is no, because it very much has to do with human beings.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think it would be telling a whole nother story that gets 2 stories in one. That's my gut response. I could be wrong. Carrie writes, how do you keep a character consistent if using watercolor? Does it have to be digital art? First of all, as an agent, I'll tell you this, I didn't care if a person worked digitally, traditionally, or a combo. Half the time I didn't even know what my artist did. I just care about the look of the art. We don't care how it's made. So don't
I
worry
care
about
about the consistency of the character, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec too. What I do want to say is watch the fancy brushes that they're always selling on Facebook that do gimmicks and all kinds of stuff. You don't want it to look super gimmicky digital. That's the only thing I would keep in mind. And then keeping a character consistent, doesn't matter what medium you use. That's by drawing it a lot in pencil first and really working out. And Dave, do you have books you recommend for character? I think you talked about that before. You're muted. Like books that
I'm a
show.
big fan of animation by Preston Blair is super good. I think in terms of just doing good shapes for things, all of the work by Ed Emberley from the 1970s is like, I mean, if that doesn't charm the pants off you, maybe you don't have pants on or something, but it should charm the pants off you. He's a genius. but really just looking at designs is how you figure that out, you know?
Yeah, I love what you've just said, actually. I think a lot of artists will do a first pass at things by doing like a sort of I mean, I call it bobbleheads, but that's not the right thing. But where you're putting the shapes down and you're figuring out, you know, if you've got your face and you draw the circle, which direction they're looking at, literally with a
Yeah.
few lines just to
Few
sort of
lines.
delineate it. And that's quite an animator's way of starting, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
For
The
me, it
shapes
was
of the
about
characters.
like the center line where it was, and
And
then,
where the eyes are, don't you think? The center line and the eyes.
yeah.
Yep.
And I think I never did shapes, but I think that would be really helpful. I never drew shapes. And another thing you could do is also get like a doll and move the doll and draw the doll and turn it and move it maybe. But
Yeah.
don't get that wooden one with it's like don't get that wooden one. You know what I mean? That wooden one with the it all moves. Yeah, like I'd
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
take that and
I
move
got
that around.
Hi.
Okay. That's that. Okay, we answered that, we answered that, we answered that. Andrea says, "Hi, Lil and Zoe. I would love to learn what is the difference between only illustrating and writing and illustrating your own books. I feel like I'm afraid of clients."
Oh, don't be afraid of the clients, Andrea. That's okay.
Yeah, agent, art director.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone in this industry is nice. I would say that.
True.
It's a very kind, supportive industry. Um, yeah, don't be frightened of that. For me, the primary difference between writing and illustrating your own book and illustrating someone else's text is they are slightly different parts of your brain. If you're handed a manuscript, which is what I'm doing for you in the course, your main job is to respond to the text that I've given you. But if you're writing and illustrating your own story, which is a fantastic thing to learn to do, you're thinking about both parts at the same time. So you'll find that you'll do some drawings, then your story will change, you'll do some more drawings, the story will change, and it kind of goes like this for a bit until it settles into a space together. So it requires maybe a little bit more time, a little bit more understanding of the story structures, whereas what I've given you is already structured and ready for you to jump in.
Great. Carrie says in the chat, "Thank you for that info. It's been holding me back about taking the course. I think I'm just going to do it." Do it. You will never regret doing it. I promise you. You'll be like, yeah, you'll just fall in love with the whole process of it. And just be kind to yourself. Everybody, be kind to yourself. I'm always taking new risks. Oh my God, I'm doing these flat lays for a new project, and it makes me so anxious. I have to do self-talk. Yeah, even Lilla Rogers gets anxious, okay, people, and worried and insecure. But that's because I'm trying something new, and then I do my self-talk, calm down, and remember with purpose. I love this. I want to share this. I want to help. So there's that. Phew, I thought you were superhuman. Well, don't tell my husband. Okay. So we did that one. Now we have Blake. And don't forget, we're doing a giveaway of the course. Oh, wait, I want to show you something. Share, boom, boom. So when you go to the Matt's homepage, and you can just simply click here, and here's the course to sign up. But here's the class schedule for those that want to see more. See how you get something every day? It's a lot if you want, but you don't. You really just focus on the assignments, and then it's cool stuff to motivate and educate you too. So it's really good. Look at all that, really nice. So that's that. And then there's other stuff here you can read about. Okay, so let me stop the share. And now we go. Blake Marcy, hi, would you say that some styles are more marketable than others in children's books? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've sent my work to every publisher and agency I can find multiple times, and the ones that reply always says that my style doesn't fit what they're looking for. That's what's so great about this course. You will see what is being hired,
Mm-hmm.
commissioned. I want you to go to a bookstore, look around, look on Amazon or Barnes and wherever, look at what's being bought. Do not copy, but get the vibe of it. Often, and I don't know your work, Blake, so I don't know if this is the case, but often it's like, oh, I loved Lewis Carroll illustrations or Beatrix Potter, and people do that look.
Yeah.
That's not being commissioned in that exact way now.
Yeah. I was just going to say that it's actually really important to just go and have a look and almost test yourself. Like write down a few questions before you go in. Look for like 10 books that have been published in the last 2 years that you like, not just pick up the, 10 best like new sales or whatever. 10 books that you like and look at them. And why do you like them? Look at who's publishing them. Then ask yourself, does my work sit alongside them? And if it doesn't, have a think about why and what could you tweak within your work to bring it up to that place.
Yeah, and maybe it's like, oh, I really like how, oh, look, the clothes on there look really contemporary, like something I'd really see. That's good to know. Or, oh, the hairstyle. I tend to be doing a certain hairstyle that was maybe more popular some time ago, but it's not what's current. Um, oh, I see that my colors tend to be blue and gray, but I see people are using a lot more bright colors now or something like that. So analyze and see. And it doesn't mean you have to do exactly, but you get the reasoning. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Don't feel alone, Blake. It's very common. And that's true with any market. I don't care if you want to do puzzles or fabric design or TV shows. You have to know what's happening now. You have to know what kinds of TV shows are popular and winning, and you don't clone it, don't do the same thing, do something fresh and different. I always innovated. I always did something. My brush lettering was in my work. My work just really was different. Like when I did this book cover, it looked, I'm like, I said to the art director, can I do this? Because it's not a book cover like book cover. She's like, yeah, it's very cool. It was for Chronicle, so they were cool. So understand what's being done and then make it better. Okay, someone writes in the chat, do you accept payment installments? Do we do installments for this course, Becky or Jenny? Do we do installments for this? I don't even know.
I
Okay,
I did it once, but I'm not sure is it currently we're doing that, but I have done that in past.
I know for my year, not for this one. Okay.
Mm.
Yes, it's available for 6 months, I think. So that's pretty good. And you can download all the info and then have it forever. But
Yeah.
And last question before our giveaway. Do you feel clients still allow artists the time to work traditionally, or has there been a shift? Now that digital tools are so accessible, is there an expectation for faster turnarounds, perhaps the expense of the slower, more crafted elements? Blah, 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 blah. No,
You want to answer
answer
that?
Zoe. But I
So,
know my artists did traditional too.
I think there is a sort of sea of change happening where we have some artists who've worked predominantly in digital format who are picking up paintbrushes. A lot of them, I'd be interested to hear what Dave thinks about this, but I've got a lot of artists that have come from the animation world who are picking up paintbrushes almost defiantly, like I'm going to paint this book instead of do it on the computer. So what I am seeing is you're absolutely right. The time frame has changed considerably in the 25 years I've worked in the business. The time frame for making a book has changed and become much quicker, and we do more books at a quicker rate, and the turnaround, you're meant to do your changes within like 24 hours. It's ridiculous. But of my new artists that are working traditionally, suddenly publishers are like, what's happening? And I'm like, well, they're going to paint the picture again. It's going to take time. So everything is slightly slowing, and I'm totally here for it. It's very exciting. And it just means that it's gonna, it's just going to change the industry a little bit, I think, and make it more interesting. I don't know how that's a bad sentence. Forgive me. We've been doing it for an hour and a half, but it's going to make it more unique and individual. And artists, I think it's time, it's just going to open the doors for all different types of styles to be published, which is really, I'm so excited about it.
It's so great. It's so great. And once you understand what the client needs, then you do it in your own way.
Yeah. Dave,
Okay.
have you seen that in animation? Are more of your peers painting or not really yet?
Yeah, I think they are. I think Kashani said the same thing in the chat. She's an animator as well. Yeah, I mean, I think first animation is extraordinarily labor intensive, so doing it digitally is often like the only way
Right.
to make it practical. And just like doing something on real paper is it's good for the soul, if that makes sense. Like I'm not a woo-woo dude, but that's totally true.
I'm a
And
woo woo, and it's true.
totally. And I feel like when for things like children's picture books, the imperfections of real media are the perfect thing, if that makes sense. They tell a story that is relatable and enjoyable. And I don't know. I work digitally,
Yeah,
but
I have
I
people who
love
do both.
I
Definitely.
love both. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think if you are going to work traditionally, and it's something we'll talk about in the class, and you'll get some support in the Facebook group, if you're working traditionally, the number one thing you have to figure out is how to scan and produce that artwork so that you can send it to someone like me, and so that it looks shit hot online, basically. So the colors look really, really good. So you've got to figure that bit out. But yeah, what Dave said.
Becky just put in the chat, and I'm gonna share the link she just gave us. We forgot to mention this cool feature
Oh.
of two brilliant guest reviewers, illustrator and educator Tamisha Anthony, who was a student and is now on her like fifth picture book and representation, and Tracy Shaw, art director at Little Brown for young readers. Wonderful. She's been here to my studio a few times for our retreats. She will be there in the reviews talking to us and looking at your work. So you can find that on the overview page. You can read lots of stuff to read here. We won't go into all of it now because oh, she's on her ninth picture book. I can't even keep up. Okay, so thank you, our guests alumni for popping
Thank you so
up.
much.
You made this, you made it. Yeah, I can't
I
thank you.
love this. I want to do this
Thank
more.
you.
It's great.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Thank
Thank
you,
you for having
everybody.
us.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. Now for the fun, and the final bit is the class giveaway. Class giveaway. So here's how we do it. Type yes if you've ever done. All right, Greg. He goes floral pineapple on soaps, messy squirrel nested in a tree, Brussels sprouts in a pie rack. No, it's not. I can't do chartreuse anymore.
I've absolutely had a mental block on what we said, actually. I'm like, oh no, what was it? Give me a
I know.
minute.
I write it down. Say
Oh.
yes if you've done it before. Say no if you're new to it, so I know whether to explain our giveaways. Okay.
Oh, I do. I remember now. I've got it, everyone. I'm ready.
Okay. So what we do is I'm going to say a category. You can guess as often as you want, as many times, repeat whatever. We have a lot of people in here. Becky and I and Zoe will try to see what maybe the first correct answer. It might not be the first answer. It's the answer we first see. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Or as we say now, you get what you get and you can be upset. That's what the kindergarten teacher told me we say now. Okay. So the category, type ready if you're ready.
Oh no, don't get them all going again.
The category is bird.
Oh my goodness.
Look at these people.
Mm. Ooh.
When it slows down, I'll give them the first letter.
I've seen one.
Have you? Oh.
I
Yeah,
have.
I have.
Well, it's a bit of a typo, but
I
I've seen it.
haven't. First letter is
No, I've seen, okay.
C.
Oh, where was it?
Oh, okay. I'm scrolling up. Okay. Okay, whoops.
This one's hard. Oh my gosh.
Oh, here it is. Oh, but it just says iPhone. It's just the name is iPhone. So I'm gonna do, let's see. Okay, Ruth Wellman.
Ooh.
Cockatoo was the answer. Boom, cockatoo. Ruth Wellman. So write to hello@makeart that sells to tell Louise that you guessed cockatoo and you won illustrating children's books. And if you're already in the class, Ruth, are you already in the class? If you are, you can gift it to someone. Let's see if she is. Wouldn't that be nice if I know it's so fun, isn't it?
My goodness. That was actually quite intense.
I
Yeah, I
know.
think when it's a color, I see it a bit quicker, but I was like,
Oh, she's in shock. Oh, good.
no.
Well, sometimes people say, I know I'm gonna win it today. And people get that way. Oh, that's so great. This tells you we try to make learning fun. And we try to make winning fun too. You have it. Okay. We could have powered a small
Yes.
this.
Honestly, Greg, it's intense at this end. We're like looking. It's
You're
really
welcome, Ruth. Yeah, that's great. Oh, this is wonderful. I didn't even get through all of it because I think we had more fun.
we
So
did.
I throw it
It's
out.
good.
From the script. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Zoe, for your wonderful wisdom and feedback. And I can't wait to teach this to you. You know how much I love this course.
Yes, me too.
Thank you,
We,
British Union
we've got to
Factor.
talk. I'll get my people to call your people.
Okay, we'll talk. You really have the energy to write another course?
Maybe. I love it. I love the idea of it. Sounds really fun. Let's,
Yeah,
let's brainstorm it and see what happens.
yeah. Maybe I'll have to fly to England so we go to like the
Yeah,
Cape.
I could.
Come
Well,
to or you come to New York or Boston.
okay, all right, calm
Whatever.
down. Keep it calm. All
Okay.
right, so we're gonna see all of
Okay.
you because when this full call finishes, anyone who's not signed up is gonna be like, I really need to do that. So we'll see you all in class, okay?
Yes, can't wait.
Best time.
So pay for the class, get in, get your stuff to get started today, and we will see you Friday.
Yes.
See you Friday. And is it this Friday? Must be.
No, it's Monday. Next week is the next
Oh,
one.
see you Monday. Yeah. See you Monday in the Zoom. Good. Assignments due Sunday night.
All
Or
right.
I don't even know. Don't listen to me. Look at the sketch. All right.
If all the dates are in the Facebook group, by
Yeah.
the way, they're pinned on the Facebook group. Go and have a look.
And
Okay.
in classroom. Okay. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.